All right, and this is the next session of J Champions Conference. My name is Rustam. I am having the pleasure of hosting or moderating this session. Together, I'm here together with Emily Jiang, and she is a Java champion, as everybody, all the other speakers of this conference, and she's also a Liberty microservices architect and advocate in IBM. And she is a senior MicroProfile lead and has been working on MicroProfile since 2016. She leads several specifications for MicroProfile, and there's a lot of things can be said about Emily, but I'll leave the stage to you to introduce yourself a bit more in details and also introduce your talk.
Yeah, thank you, Rustan. Let me share my screen.
Yes. And while you're sharing your screen, I can just say that you're more than welcome to ask any questions in the chat at any time, and I will read the questions aloud for Emily as they come in, or as at any time, and I will. All right. This is your screen now. You can switch to the presentation, and I will leave you to it.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, it looks good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rustan. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So in this talk, I'm going to talk about like a MicroProfile, basically the easy peasy microservice development with MicroProfile. So in this talk, there's no really like a PhD thesis. So basically, everything is really easy. So in this talk, I'm going to give you a quick overview about MicroProfile, and then I will do a live demo creating a couple microservices using MicroProfile APIs. So further explain the MicroProfile specifications. And then we will finish with the little peek into the future of MicroProfile. Please feel free to ask any questions as we go along, and I will try to answer questions whenever the question comes up. And if you have any questions like afterwards, feel free to reach me via Twitter. My Twitter handle is Emily FH Jiang, or similarly is like the LinkedIn. The LinkedIn is same ID, so Emily FH Jiang. If you don't know about MicroProfile, MicroProfile has been around for 4 years, since 2016, and just recently, just you can tell, like we still have a Christmas Santa hat. So it's just before Christmas we released MicroProfile 4.0. Last year in 2020 we spent a lot of time to set up the MicroProfile working group. So in October, 5 corporate members, Atlanta Jack, IBM, Jelastic, Red Hat, and Tommy Tribe. So basically, we formed the MicroProfile working group. And in January, recently, Payara and also Oracle, plus the Garden State Jack also joined the MicroProfile working group. MicroProfile is completely open, is completely community driven, and is a spec API TCK is completely freely available in the Maven Central. In terms of this community, the community is very diverse. So it's we have many contributors from many vendors like IBM, Red Hat, Payara, Tommy Tribe, and etc. And also from JAX and from individuals. This is the kind of contribution. The other thing is the important thing is there's about a dozen implementations. So this is a big differentiation between MicroProfile with other like a framework. So like a Spring, like APIs and etc. So basically, Spring Boot is main implementation. However, in MicroProfile, like we establish these APIs, we got many implementations from different companies. In IBM, we have OpenLiberty, WebSphere Liberty. In Red Hat, it has Quarkus, Wildfly, Piara has Piara, Tommy Tribe has Tommy EE, Oracle has Halidon, and Fujitsu has Apache Launcher, Cumulus EE has Cumulus EE, and also plus others like Hammock, Piranha, Cloud, and also Apache Geronimo. The trend with MicroProfile is the new like runtime, the newly cloud native runtimes. They all kind of trying to adopt MicroProfile. So this is a quick timeline about the MicroProfile releases. So there's 3 releases per year since 2017, with the exception of last year because we were busy with set up MicroProfile working group. So it's just before we set up this work group in October, and in December we released the MicroProfile 4.0. So the MicroProfile 4.0 is basically adopt Jakarta EE8. You can see the Jakarta CDI, Jakarta JSON-P, Jakarta JSON-B, and Jakarta JAX-RS, and also this 8 MicroProfile implementations. 7 of them with some binary compatible changes, with the exception of the GWT authentication. And plus, in MicroProfile, we call this as umbrella release. And on the right-hand side is a standalone release. So this is the outside umbrella. So we have reactive messaging, reactive stream operators, context propagation, and GraphQL. So they are not in the platform release as yet because these specs are kind of being released either last year or the year before, later the year before last year. So we want to get more feedback, and before we kind of merge into the platform release, or maybe we come up with a different bucket to hold these specifications as groups. So this is the quick diagram, a quick building block representation of MicroProfile. You can see platform release has 4 Jakarta 4 Jakarta specifications plus these 8 MicroProfile specifications. And a standalone, we have reactive stream operators, reactive messaging, context propagation, GraphQL. The one in gray is the long-running actions. So this one has not been released. Hopefully, we'll have this spec released this year. Up to now, I listed quite a few specifications. So in the next few slides, I discuss give you a quick overview why they are needed. So basically, MicroProfile is to establish a programming model for doing cloud native application development. So basically, I think I got some notification all the time. Let me stop this one. You see.
While you're doing that, I can just, there was the first question already, and I think you were about to answer that question. And it's, the question is, what exactly MicroProfile is, and how how it helps us. Is it a tool or a concept or anything like that? I think you were just about to answer that question, but since you had a little break, I took the liberty of joining in and asking that question.
Thank you. Can you tell me how to switch off this notification?
Try killing your, can you close the app? Just right click on it and say quit.
Right click this app.
No, yeah, just on the bottom there. If you just right click on the app that is using the, probably it's your email or something. If you just right click on it and do quit. Yeah.
No, I don't have. This is Chrome. So
oh, okay, no, don't do that on Chrome. Okay.
Let me see.
If you click on this little button that is right on your upper right corner and go to notifications. So
yeah, I can see that.
Hold the Option key and click on that button again. You'll see it grayed out.
Option.
Can you do that? Option key on your keyboard, the one that's like Alt or Option.
Yeah, I
click. And then click on no, not that button, but the one on top right corner, right next to the.
This one.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
So now
great.
you're
Thank
good.
you.
Now we should be good.
Sorry about that. Let me
No
go
worries.
back. Yeah, thanks for the question. So it's what is a MicroProfile is a MicroProfile is to establish like a programming model for developing microservices or cloud native applications. So it's I will give you in the next few slides I will tell you more about this MicroProfiles capability and etc. Thinking about cloud native microservices and the most popular microservices is a RESTful service. So how can you create a RESTful service? So basically, you use JAX-S. You use them for the payload. You use JSON-P or JSON-B. And also is for the dependency injection, how to create a very nicely organized RESTful service. You use the CDI, so context and dependency injection. So this is for building blocks are able to create microservices, RESTful services for you. And once you have microservices, using the microservices or cloud native applications, is often you have many of them. So there need to be a way to connect them. So you use basically the MicroProfile offers REST client to enable these interactions. So it's the service A call into service B. So uses the MicroProfile REST client. So it's once you have done that, so you have many microservices, and the next thing you need to worry about the quality of the services. So you don't really want change the config value, and then in order to change the config value, you have to repackage your application. So you will need MicroProfile config, and then also is you want to really build a resilient microservices. So you use a MicroProfile fault tolerance. And for microservices, you also need to worry about security. So you use the MicroProfile JWT propagation. If you have many microservices, you need to a way to manage them, to document them. So you use OpenAPI. So if you know Swagger, so OpenAPI is directly based on the Swagger, adopt Swagger. So this is with this, you increase your capability, you increase the kind of the quality of your microservices. So with this, if you don't want to deploy to the cloud, and then this is quite good. However, once you build these cloud native applications or microservices, you need to deploy to the cloud. Once you deploy to the cloud, you need to make sure your microservice can communicate with the cloud infrastructure, such as Kubernetes. So you can tell Kubernetes when you are ready, or tell the Kubernetes when you are going to stop, you are going to die. So basically, it's this microservice needs to be destroyed. Again, it's kind of you also need to give some info to the day 2 operation, like is one endpoint under heavy load. With that information, maybe you will issue some warning, or will just maybe spin off a new instance. So this is the kind of metrics is here to help. Again, it's kind of the I mentioned earlier, you might have many microservices. If something like one operation might involve quite a few microservices. If one microservice is not behaving, and your operation will fail. So with the failure, you need to figure out which microservice is kind of the troublemaker. So you need a way to correlate this kind of invocation. So link all this invocation into one chain from beginning to the end. So that's what a MicroProfile open tracing is here to help. So you can view the invocation in a third-party tool such as Jiang, or some other tools, or this Zipkin, for example. So this is the kind of give you a quick overview about the MicroProfile specifications included in the platform release. So how can I get started then? So it's we have a MicroProfile starter. So it's, if you know Spring, this kind of really similar. So the URL, the start.microprofile.io, and also we have some plugins like a VS Code plugin or the IntelliJ plugin. So directly you can directly create a microservices from your IDE. So let me do a quick demo. So basically, I create create two microservices, service A and service B, and service A call into service B, and both of these microservices deployed to the OpenLiberty.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
There is a question from the comments about JWT. And how can somebody make a quick explanation of how JWT handles the authentication, and does JWT based on separation of concerns?
Separation of the concern. So JWT actually is this is a kind of into the history of the MicroProfile JWT. So basically, if you want to talk about security, that would be two things. One is kind of OAuth 2. The other one is OpenID Connect. So it's OAuth 2 is authorization, and OpenID is authentication. So JWT provide a way for fulfilling these two purposes, authentication and authentication. So JWT is just like a JSON format. So it have a few parts like a header, payload, and a signature. And in MicroProfile JWT, the adopt JWT, and however, it adds two more claims. One is UPN, the other one is groups. So it's with the UPN and groups can tell what this user are and what this user can do. So for the authentication, for the secure the microservice, it use Jakarta EE security. Basically, the user roles allowed to secure this backend. So later on, I will do a demo. So I will show you how it's been done. Good question. Let me go to the IDE. So it's let me go to the Google Chrome. So it's here. If I do a start.microprofile.io. So you can see here is the kind of group ID, artifact ID, and then you can choose version. So it's many version like although we released 4.0, we are still waiting for implementation to implement this 4.0. And then once we have a couple implementations, we will add the release to the MicroProfile starter. So the thing is, this is different from others. If I click the 3.3, so you can choose like the compatible implementations. So you can see this is at least 6 of them all kind of support MicroProfile 3.3. So I work on Liberty. So if you choose that, oh gosh. If you choose that, like and then is then you can select which specifications you want. You can select all and then download. So this is like the web browser like a tool to get you started with MicroProfile applications. So let me show you like I use the IDE. So I use the VS Code. So in here, I have a VS Code MicroProfile extension installed. So I can see MicroProfile and then comment IBM. So I will say Liberty. We'll see Open Liberty. And select like version 3.3, and I choose Open Liberty. You can choose 8 or 11, and you just use 8. And then I choose all the kind of the specifications. And then I will generate to this project. Add to here. So you can see here, I have like 2 microservices created, service A and also service B. For the ones who don't know about JAX-RS, so in JAX-RS, basically it just needs like 2 like Java classes. One is the application, so here you can see. The other one is the JAX-RS resource. So it's with this, there will be an endpoint for you to poke. And then once you poke, it will say hello world. So let me start this service. So if I do go to service A, so I can start in the Liberty dev mode. So I say Liberty :dev. So that means whenever I make a change, and at the server, the plugin automatically pick up the change without me to do anything. So that's why it's kind of called dev mode. So I can make any change, and then it will pick up without me need to do to tell it. So it's let's see let's see whether the endpoint is here. If I see it's 9080 is here, and then if I say hello world, and this is the endpoint, so the data and the hello, it says hello world. So if I change hello world Java champion, let's save that one. I go back here. See, it pick up a change straight away. So similarly, let me start the service B. If I go to service B, similarly, I can start the Liberty dev mode. So what does the service B do? So service B basically have 2 endpoints. One is kind of the do something. So basically, it's very simple, just do something, and then it's kind of passing a parameter and then display the parameter passed in. So the other endpoint, so this is secured. So this is kind of this endpoint is only allow the rows protected and access this endpoint. Otherwise, it will reject it. So let's first look at how can I make service A call into service B, the unsecured this endpoint. For this unsecured endpoint, so it's like I mentioned earlier, so you use the MicroProfile REST client directly connect them together. You can see here clearly, this is do something with the pass param, and then passing a parameter is the get operation. So in service A, is a MicroProfile REST client is directly is type safety, provide a type safety feature. So it will create an interface like directly to say is the kind of what's the backend service interface. Do something, pass param, and then take on parameter and it get operation. The only thing you need to do is you say register REST client, and then in your JAX resource, you can directly inject REST client, and then you can call any operation on this client. You might think, okay, how do I know where the service B live? So the beauty is you can configure that. So in here, like you can use a fully qualified class name. So it's com.example open liberty client and server. So here fully and /mp-res/url. So you put the like service B's endpoint here. So in this way, it's directly call into service B. So let's poke the service A to see whether it can access the service B. So here it says process parameter value. So that's a direct response from service B. So you might think, is that really from service B? If here I change, I say it's Java champion live. So I save this one, which is directly in service B. Let's go back to the browser again. Let's refresh. So you can see it directly pick up. So it was it's indeed called into service B. So next thing I want to demonstrate to you, I really want to configure my service A. For example, I don't really just say respond what service B respond. Maybe here I can say hello everyone from maybe I don't like to have hard code if I say okay from a conference, and then I want to configure it. I want to say use the MicroProfile config. So directly I want to specify maybe here a name is conference, and then it's just a string conf, and then I inject into it, and then now I save it. And then you might be confused. So how do I know what a conference is it? So the thing I want to show you is you will get error message straight away. So basically it will say you can't so the injector can't found, so the property was not found. So this is a really good development aid. So basically tell you exactly what to do to fix it. So you can directly specify the value of the conference. So you might think, okay, so you are telling me configuration, you can specify config value without doing any change in your application. So this is just for the development. In the production, you can overwrite this conference in the if in the cloud, you can use the config map, or in the a database or environment variable or system properties and etc. So if I do a Java champion here, now it's kind of is happy. It's picked up changes straight away, and then if I go back here. Hey, hello everyone from Java champion. So I can see straight away the format was not good. So I can just directly fix it. You can see here. I can add this exclamation mark and divide it. Save it. So basically, you can just do it like incremental development and do it, try it out to see whether it works. So this is kind of, I specify the configuration. The next thing is the kind of real use case, like what if service B is not behaving? So it's, for example, let's put some failure in service B. So in here, service B, let me add some exceptions. If I do like this, and from time to time, I throw exceptions. And then I define the, basically I define kind of count and direct it through exception. So let's see, it's like in the service A with call into service B, and what result you are going to get. So in service A, so I want to display this count. So you see it's kind of the later on you see, you can sometimes it's really slow and sometimes it's not working. So it's you said, okay, yeah, let's fix service B. However, sometimes you doesn't have the access to service B, the backend owned by somebody else. So you have to fix yourself. So for example, you just own service service A, you have to fix up in service A. So MicroProfile for tolerance can directly provide a way to make your microservice resilient. So basically, is you can say retry, and that will fix a lot of errors if it's if it doesn't work and intermittent errors. And then as we saw, it's also sometimes is really slow, and then you can add a timeout. So you can say, okay, I want at most I want to wait for 100 milliseconds. Once you have a timeout, the best practice is that you always use asynchronous programming. So basically, this method will run in a separate thread. In this case, you can stop that thread and straight away. So it's a kind of you have to return either completion stage or the future. So let's return a complete or a completion stage. So let's use a complete future, Java 8. So completed future here. If I do like that, save this one. Let's go back to the browser again. So you can see, remember this number 7, right? 8. And it jumped to 11 is because its timeout is kind of, it will go to get a timeout exception, will trigger a retry and become 11. So basically you don't have the slowness anymore and it's always worked. So this is the kind of MicroProfile for tolerance. The other thing the MicroProfile for tolerance also give you is the kind of fallback. So this again, especially in the cloud, and sometimes your backend is not kind of ready, and then it's very good to have some fallback kind of operation. So in here you can define fallback operation. So here you say, okay, if something wrong, I couldn't fix it, please call this fallback. Obviously, you need to, this fallback need to be different from the original one. We say this is my fallback. So you save that. So this is the one thing is this fallback need to be have the exact same signature as the method you are trying to fallback. You specify the fallback annotation with. So so this is kind of pretty much about resilient microservices. So the next thing is I mentioned earlier is kind of there's a lot endpoint. This one exposed is how can I to see what the endpoint what are the available endpoint. So is we have Swagger, we have OpenAPI, MicroProfile OpenAPI to directly list all of the endpoint. So this, if you know Swagger, this is identical to Swagger because it's adopted Swagger. In Liberty, we also have a UI, so you can directly see all this UI, and you could even invoke this kind of try it out and invoke it. And plus, you can add some so additional descriptions for this operation. So let me directly use some OpenAPI and annotation directly describe this microservice endpoint. If I do this one, and this is all OpenAPI annotation to say what the response is like. Let me directly solve this endpoint or this import. So it's and then if I go back, so you can see this a description straight away. For 200 means what, 404 means what. So this is a quick a demonstration for the OpenAPI. So the other thing is about the metrics. Without I haven't done anything with this metrics. However, you with this MicroProfile, it's give you auto box metrics, tell you all the kind of class loading, and even all the kind of the JAX-RS thing, and also all the JAX-RS method calls, etc. If you want to add additional kind of application level metrics, and you can just use the MicroProfile metrics kind of annotations, such as, for example, simply timed. If I say name equals my timer. If I add that, and then if I go back to the here again, and then let me directly invoke endpoint. Let me refresh this one. So you can see it's kind of the here my timer to give you the time, elapsed time, and also MicroProfile fault tolerance has integration with metrics. All the fault tolerance, how many retries been done, and how many times been timed out, and etc. You got all these metrics. The beauty is if you can let Grafana to produce a nice diagram for you. So this is a quick run through about the metrics you can do. The other thing is the health. So is you need to, once you in cloud native development, you need to communicate with Kubernetes. Kubernetes has liveness probe and readiness probe, and in response to that, work well with the Kubernetes. MicroProfile offers liveness kind of endpoint, also readiness endpoint. So the liveness endpoint will get the payload directly from here, the core method. So you can you implement a health check, so health check procedure, and then you can say what data, and then you can here to say what kind of circumstances you are still alive, is microservice alive. For example, the commonly used use case, the algorithm will be you are nearly run out of RAM. You had better say you are going to down, so the live check, you will return down. And similarly, you have the a readiness annotation. So again, so this is you can put a business logic algorithm here say at what kind of circumstances you are ready or you are not ready. I know it's a kind of you or most of us will need to use the database. Here is kind of very common algorithm is you call into the try to connect to your database. If your database is reachable, you will see up. If you're not reachable, you will see down. So let me show you with what I have got. So basically that kind of the like a quick snippet. So I have the localhost 9080 /health /live. So here is kind of status. Like I see, this is data. You can the status up, and again you have a ready. So this is kind of all the data you can put in, and the final status is up. So this is very useful. Later on, I will see how can you use it with Kubernetes. So the next thing is about the kind of the tracing aspect. So I have like in preparing this, I have like the Jaeger installed and up running. So it's let me see, refresh this one. So you can see here is Open Liberty, and then I can see find trace. So all the things that have been done and sometimes not working is all being traced. So all being like listed here. So you can see here is two span. So it's one is in service A, the other one is in service B. You can see where the time is spent. And this is the beauty of MicroProfile open tracing. So I haven't done any like annotation, nothing in my application. And all the JAX kind of invocations automatically have their trace ID automatically correlated. So it's all this kind of the header propagated. So they can really nicely connect from the request to the response. So you have a really nice graph to tell you where the time spent. If something not right, you can figure out what's not right. The last thing is about security. Let's have a look at the security. So I mentioned earlier in service B, I have a secure endpoint. So this rules allowed is not from MicroProfile, it's from Jakarta EE. So this means I want to protect this endpoint. Is only allow roles is protected to access this endpoint. So how can I in the service A in my client, how can I pass the proper roles, and then the backend can verify actually you have the right credential and etc. So it's the thing going here. So in this one, so it's just like this one in the first, it needs to pass a JSON web token. So if you know JWT, also pronounce it as JWT. It pass JWT. Basically, here is directly use a different flavor. We use JAX as REST client. So directly invoke this backend. The thing is, when you invoke this backend without passing any kind of security credentials, this request will be failed. Will be like a failure. You will get a failure straight away. So to enable to pass the right credentials, so we pass the JSON web token as a header. So on the with a header is all authorization barrier header, and I build this GWT token. And then you may think, okay, how can I generate a GWT? So for generate a GWT, there's many roughly a few ways for you. The one way is kind of you directly call some APIs, like some runtimes such as Open Liberty. We offer API for you to create like a JSON web token. Or here we use a Vertex. Also, it has the API to create like a JWT. Basically, it need to specify algorithm, you need to specify public key, private key, and etc., and then generate it. And then you can like generate a token and then put in the token for the information, put in the token for the information you want to put in, and then you can add some additional claims. The important bit is you need to set a UPN and also the set groups. So here you can see the groups belong to protected. So in this way, this invocation should be successful. To go back. So you can see here, you see, okay, it's difficult to know whether this is from the service B or not. So let me directly like change the service B here. I say JC. So let's go back here. So you can see this is directly from the service B. So the other thing is that if I change the service B, is no longer protected. If I say super, right? If I say super, and I expect this will be like because a token is said is only user and protected. So here will be forbidden. So you don't get anything. So if I change it back, to be the protected. So let's go back here. So it should work. So it works. The other thing is also you can inject the JSON web token as well. So you can say at inject JSON web token. And here you can see JSON web token. You can say token dot get raw token, for example. When you do it like that, you can even see what his token is like. See, you can see the JBrush this token. So basically, it has 3 parts. So you can search. There will be a dot. So basically, it's a separator, 2 dots. So it's a header and also payload and a signature. So it's so this is roughly tell you about the kind of the MicroProfile specifications, like for the platform release. Let me go back to my slide.
I have a few questions, Emily.
Yeah.
So there are two groups of questions. One of them is a bit more generic to all the parts or pieces that you've shown. So the question is, can microprofile features be independently used without having to rely on a whole microprofile implementation, such as OpenLiberty? So say I want to integrate the GraphQL or a REST client in a Micronaut app. Would that be possible?
Yeah, it's a good question. Because the runtime directly offers the implementation. So it's once you use the OpenLiberty, is obviously OpenLiberty is kind of similar, and Micronaut. There are 2 kind of different runtime. Is not compatible. You can't use partial OpenLiberty on Micronaut. The other thing is like a SmallRye. If you have not heard of it, SmallRye offers the standalone implementations. You might be able to get the SmallRye jar directly add as an external library for Micronaut to see whether they can work or not. So this is kind of in theory should be okay, but you have to try it out.
All right, thank you. Another question is about service discovery. And is there is support for that in MicroProfile clients?
Yeah, this is a really good question. Service discovery was around quite a few years ago. But since we have Kubernetes and also the cloud infrastructure, they are capable doing really better job than the kind of framework to do the service discovery. So that's why it's kind of we trying to rely on the cloud infrastructure to do the service discovery.
Thank you so much. And then there are two questions also on GraphQL.
Yeah.
Is there?
I will do a demo.
Oh, you have a demo. Okay, then I'll
Yeah.
wait with those questions. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I'll quickly go through this one. A few slides. I will dive into the demo for GraphQL. So quickly, after my application, you can do Maven verify to create an image, and then Open Liberty has a really good Docker image. You use a Docker image, do a Docker build, and then you can create a deployment, push to Kubernetes. And if you have Istio installed, you can use Istio service mesh to manage your services. So one thing is kind of in the MicroProfile config, so you can works really well with Kubernetes. So as earlier, I specify the conference in the app. However, outside the app, you can specify that as a config map. So here you can say conference G Champion 2021 instead of G Champion. And then in your deployment YAML file, you can map this config map into an environment variable. And then when in your application, you can directly just inject this conf, and then this conference will automatically resolve to be a G Champion 2021. So this is kind of how it works with cloud. So cloud infrastructure. The other thing that I mentioned, MicroProfile Health, it has two endpoints. One is /health/live. The other one is /health/ready. So you use ready for readiness prop, use /health/live for your liveness prop. So this is how it works with your Kubernetes.
There are more questions ticking in.
Right.
Is there something standard for log collection?
Yeah, this is a great idea. No, we have been discussing about logs in MicroProfile, and then people are saying we already got a lot of libraries about logging. So it's kind of the we haven't investigated too much time on the logging. So it's one thing is a lot of people use the a JDK logging framework. So that's kind of a lot of runtimes support that. So that's kind of one of the best practices.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So in the open tracing, I demonstrated earlier, and it works really well with Istio because Istio also have Jaeger, has Jaeger or Zipkin can be installed. And however, Istio cannot propagate these headers, these few headers at least right here, and it asks the application to propagate it, and then MicroProfile automatically does the job for them. So here in this slide, I want to say you use MicroProfile and it works really well with Istio. I also wrote a blog, and that's have many many kind of details to tell you about when to use MicroProfile, in what kind of feature works, in what kind of context, and etc. And please have a read if you are interested. So basically, we want to establish a good ecosystem instead of trap into each other's toes. So the next thing is the standalone spec. So the first thing is GraphQL. So it's I have in MicroProfile GraphQL, we have this annotation GraphQL API. So basically, is this is like a MicroProfile API in the GraphQL. So means this class will be offering a lot of queries. So you can have a query, you can have a mutation, and etc. So GraphQL is solve like right size data fetching. Is no overfetching, no underfetching. Like JAX-RS sometimes give you a lot of data, sometimes give you less data. GraphQL just give you enough data. So let me give you a quick demo. So I have my app running there. So I have GraphQL UI. So this is on Open Liberty. So it's in the GraphQL, in this like a generated like a sample here. If you look at the GraphQL here, so I have a Hello Finder. So you can see here is GraphQL API. I have a query super hero, all hero. Let me just do a all hero. So it's basically I just want to query all of the heroes in my application. So in here, I directly saying, okay, this is a query I can write. So it's directly give me all of the information I want. If I say, okay, I only want this, only want like two things, it will just give me two things. The other thing is I can even like create heroes, create like a mutation, other things. If I say, so create a new hero, so it will creating a new thing. It's called Captain America again. And let's see whether it was created or not. Let's go back to the history. So here, all hero. So you can see Captain America again. So it's been added. So you can see the kind of data mutation as well. So that's pretty much about GraphQL. Does that answer your question? Okay, I will carry on.
Let's see. Yes, I think there were a few questions. One of them was also about if there is something similar to REST client just for GraphQL.
REST
or are there any plans for that?
REST client for GraphQL.
Yeah, kind of similar.
So it's I'm not sure what the probably can you elaborate a little bit more, because
well, I can read the question. I think
yeah, I don't know, it's probably not you. I mean
yes, I know.
Elaborate a bit more.
So the question was: is there are they going to is there a planned spec for GraphQL protocol support as out-of-the-box client similarly to REST client? So I guess the way I read it, it's probably something similar that REST client does, speaking to other REST services programmatically. If there is a way of doing something similar with GraphQL endpoints, I think that's the way I read it.
I see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, now I understand. I don't think so. However, feel free to raise the issue on the GraphQL like GitHub issue. So I put a link here. For me, probably for me, I don't see the use case as yet, because GraphQL is kind of directly like talk to your database and give you the response. However, if you elaborate a little bit more in your issue, maybe there's a good use case, and also can easily, basically it's easily to use a GraphQL endpoint, so the UI bit. Yeah, feel free. I think raise the issue on the MicroProfile -GraphQL for further conversation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, there was a question if your demos are on GitHub or available in any way.
Not yet. I will be able to check into GitHub, my personal GitHub. Maybe I will announce on Twitter if that helps. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a kind of what keep an eye on Twitter. I mean, I will try to post it there.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I know we are kind of running out of time. I just want to say we also have a reactive kind of. I know there's no more talks, right? Am I okay to kind of run for a couple more minutes?
That's totally fine. Nobody's going to cut you off. I mean, the only thing that might happen is that people might jump over to another question, but you can use as much time as you want technically.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. I'll try to close off in a couple minutes. So we also have reactive messaging. So we have an annotation incoming, outgoing. For the kind of incoming is kind of the consumer, outgoing the publisher, and then you can plug in a Kafka. So basically, it's we have the connector, or either you use the MQP or this kind of the different connector, or even some other MQTT and etc. In Liberty, we support like a Kafka. So you can public message and consume message via Kafka. So this is only couple annotations, incoming, outgoing, acknowledgement for the message receiving bit. Also for the context propagation, this provide a way when you do a synchronized programming, all the new thread from the thread pool probably don't have the right context. With the context propagation, is provide a way for you to associate them like a parent context with the new thread, with a new thread. So you can push the existing context to the new thread, or remove some contacts, and then just push like a subset of the contacts to the new thread. So this is you either use the managed executor or use the thread context. So you can check out the MicroProfile context propagation GitHub for more information. So next thing is the long running actions. So this is kind of how to do the transaction. So we have some annotations at LI. So that means start a transaction. If it's failed, it will call the compensate. If it's successful, it will call the complete. So there's a coordinator in the background directly oversee all these transactions. So this is a user saga pattern. So eventually consistency. So this is pretty much all about MicroProfile. So in peek into the future, so we are trying to align with the Jakarta E9. So hopefully in the 5.0. So maybe it's in the June. And also we are investigate, we are doing analysis about the feasibility of adopting micrometer. So basically is really like a popular framework for monitoring. And also the CNCF has open telemetry because it is a merge open sensors and open tracing community. So we are trying to also adopt open telemetry. If you have not heard of it, and this year we set up an alliance, so Cloud Native for Java, and trying to make a MicroProfile work closely with Jakarta EE. So vice versa. So basically, two communities work together more closely and help each other and utilize each other's technology. So this is kind of the end of this presentation. If you want get involved in MicroProfile, go to microprofile.io. Click on the right-hand side is join a conversation, and you can ask many questions there. If you want to learn MicroProfile, go to a specification, go to the openliberty.io/guides. It has many tutorials to help you with. So let me quickly go to openliberty.io. So here is guides. So many MicroProfile guides. So basically it's kind of only 20 minutes or 30 minutes you have, and you can learn the technologies you are interested. So that's summarize this talk. Are there any final questions?
Not that I can see so far. I've asked to post the last questions if there are any, and I haven't seen anything. So far, it's been just lots of thanks and comments on your great talk. That you've done a great job.
Great, thank you, Rustam. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Bye.
Thank you very much for doing this, and thank you everyone, to all of you watching it, for joining in. It's been great to host this session, and there will be a lot of other sessions. Just follow the schedule. I'll post a link in the chat in a second, so just follow the schedule, and remember that all of the sessions will have their own YouTube links. So yeah, that's pretty much it of the information. So see you around on the other talks and other chats.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.